Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Rose Lake Park. This is the second episode of Map 3, so we are still in the 1910 to 1919 map, and we're going to pick up where we left off last time. So last time we looked at the lawn area that was rebuilt after the fire, and this time we're going to look at the area around the lake. So let's introduce ourselves. I am Fisherman.
I am Wolf Tenor.
And I'm Bullethead.
We're gonna look at some really cool stuff today. We have a lot of ground to cover again, so let's see what we can see here. So we're gonna start. So let me zoom out a little bit, kind of remind you guys where we left off last time. So we looked at this area last time, looked at the Japanese gardens and the lawn. So we saw Jackalope 2, Vesuvius, and all these new rides on the midway up here. So we were going to come down here this time. So we talked about the big fire that destroyed much of the midway. So part of the restructuring the infrastructure of the park, kind of planning ahead so nothing like that would happen again, we put a permanent home for the Rose Lake Volunteer Fire Department. Because Bullethead is a fireman in real life, we thought it would be cool to have him build us a fire station and some horse-drawn fire brigade wagons. So I'm going to let him tell us about it while I look around.
Okay, well, so building the station, that was part of the deal with the insurance company after the fire. Inside the station here on the ground floor, we have it's probably an 1898 or somewhere around 1900 vintage, but still, things had not changed much by the 1910. It is a horse-drawn, steam-powered pumper, and next to it in the other bay is a hose wagon. This was back in the days when the various functions of fire trucks were spread over multiple units. So you had the pump on one side, you had the hose on the other, and these were pulled by horses. As you can see, they have harnesses for the horses hanging from the ceiling. Yes, I knew nobody could say that with a straight face. Yes, we go back to pulp. We go back to Pulp Fiction and the Gimp.
Uh-huh.
But if you go around the side of the building, outside, there's a little stable here, and there's 4 draft horses. The 2 gray-colored Shire breeds pull the hose wagon, and the 2 blacker ones pull the pumper. And they all have names if you want to click on them and see. They're all going to the glue factory here pretty soon when this gets all mechanized.
Oh, that's sad.
But anyway, when an alarm would be sounded, because every building in the park has an alarm pull, when they pull an alarm in a building on fire, it would cause the big red siren up on the finial on top of the tower to sound very loudly, and that would summon the volunteer firefighters plus anybody who just wanted to spectate, and they would all run to the fire station, and somebody would run up the staircase in the back to the desk. There's a teletype machine, which would print out a little code, and then they would look the code up in the little book right there on the desk, and this would tell them where the fire was. And so then they would run back down the stairs or slide down the pole, either way. And somebody would go outside, grab the horses, lead them in, position them in front of the fire trucks. They would lower the harnesses from the ceiling, fasten a couple of buckles, and they'd be ready to go. And everybody else would just run along following the fire trucks.
Very cool.
So upstairs, they got upstairs, they had a crew of 3 people who would, out of the 9 total, who would work for like a 24-hour shift. and sleep upstairs and be ready to go. So you'd have a driver for each of the wagons and one guy to get the boiler and the steam pumper going on the way to the fire. And then they had their big table for the meeting room where, everybody could get together and discuss business. And there was actually a toilet here where other business could be done. And the entire building is what's called Type 4 heavy timber construction with no enclosed void spaces. So that's why all the wiring is exposed, and the ceiling, the walls of the restroom don't go all the way to the ceiling. And there's rumored to be some ghosts here. I don't know anything about that. The pictures on the wall are actual Currier and Ives lithographs, which either one, Currier or Ives, I forget which, was actually a fireman in real life. And so they did some lithographs, which are very accurate period reconstructions of what things looked like on firefighting back then. And those things are still hung in fire stations to this day. And then if you go back down to the ground floor into the engine bay, these chalkboards on either side of the door to the tower, these were done by Waggy. And so the volunteers would come by and had various duties to do on different days. And this just shows who's supposed to be doing what. And that's basically it. It's just a regular little old fire station.
I liked the daily and weekly duties in the list. The weekly duties, one of them includes to pay the tab at Edna's. Pretty.
Oh, yes. Well, there are beds up there, so.
Yeah. Okay, so while we are over here, we're going to go down and look at a couple of things we added over here. I think are new. We had the church before. We've got the schoolhouse now, I think is new.
Yes.
I believe.
Yes, schoolhouse.
The schoolhouse is new, so we added that. I think everything else was up there already. We have part of the new infrastructure of the park is new waterworks, new water towers. Let's look at the Rose Lake Camp waterworks. So what's going on inside this building, Bullethead?
Well, there is a new water well. It was that's going to be the pump closest to the boilers with the blue trim, and that pumps the water up the hill to the big water tower behind Edna's. And then the red pump is an additional pressure pump. So you have the height of the water tower, you have the height of the hill, and then you have that big pressure pump. And that is one of the mainstays of the new water infrastructure of the whole park to allow adequate fire flow at all those hydrants for the massive buildings, which the park now includes. And if you over by the hotel, the old water tower there got replaced with a bigger one higher up the hill, and there's another little smaller water tower behind the boathouse. It's all part of the post-fire infrastructure update.
Okay. And they say RLP on the water tower, Rose Lake Park. Excellent. Very cool.
Where did we steal this water tower from? Somewhere in Indiana, 1917, something like that.
Something like
that.
It
is modeled on it's actually a real water tower that we stole from somewhere.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly. Okay. So, if you cross the bridge from Edna's boarding house, there is a little restaurant over here. It has a whole story behind it. Little Edna's big pie hole.
Yes, and I was going to say it has a very, very strong porch.
Yes, very strong. I just saw the toilet with the flowers in it. How come I
been there forever.
Really?
You didn't see that.
I have not seen that before.
Oh boy, I saw that immediately. I was going, man, I've seen trailer trash like that where I live.
Oh my gosh. So there's this long story about Lil Edna. There were some berries and she called them booby berries, but they weren't really called that, but I guess Big Edna let her call them that. Was that the story? Wasn't it something like that?
Something
And
like that, I don't remember. But they just became known as booby berries.
And they made pies out of them, and so we kept the tradition. And so Lil Edna's Big Pie Hole, it's a pie shop where you can get booby berry pies.
Boobies.
Boobies. JP made this for us, and it looks amazing. And it looks cool at night. Let's look at it at night. Because the porch is all decked out in lights.
And Lil Edna is not falling through it.
She's what? She's not falling through the porch yet?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So it's soundly constructed.
Yes. So that's her place. Exciting. Yeah, I don't know how I missed the toilet before.
And somewhere along the line, Professor Marvel developed a huge taste for booby berry pies, which explains his wider hips in later photos.
There you go.
That was the story behind this, yes.
I love how every table is different and every chair is different on the porch. That is so typical. I love it. All right, so coming out, get some booby berry pie. All right, so what's next on our list? So we're going to go fly across, kind of take a shortcut. Okay, so one thing you're going to notice right away. So before we just had this little footbridge that went across the waterway to the boathouse. But the park has grown and we started building on the other side of the lakes and the peninsulas. So we had to find a way to get peeps across the river.
And fire engines.
The lakes. And fire engines, yes. So Bullethead was our civil engineer and he made us some amazing bridges that are absolutely beautiful. I say so. Absolutely beautiful. Really nice iron bridges to cross our rivers and our lakes. You want to talk about your bridge design?
Well, I stole it from some real iron arch bridge somewhere. I forget where. I think it's in the U.S., not Europe, but can't remember now. And I made it just as sort of okay, you can do this sort of thing. People who actually have skill, please make a better one. And nobody did, so we're stuck with these.
We liked it.
If you look on the sides of them, you can see they have water mains for the fire hydrants and all. That's how the water pipes get across the lakes on the bridges, which is a real thing, actually.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all there is to say about them. Somebody tried to make them look better with decking the paths and all, but I did it, and it's not great. Well, I mean, you can only put so much lipstick on a pig.
Awesome. Okay. So we squeezed in a couple more picnic pavilions, I think, since last time. So let's walk up this path here toward the hotel. So one thing I don't think we mentioned before, but the paths are now asphalt. So before everything was dirt. Now they're asphalt.
I thought that was actually just the ashes, but from the fire.
There you go. It's asphalt.
Yeah.
So still have the original footbridge, little pedestrian bridge here, but now we have the more heavy-duty bridges that Bullethead built for us.
Quit saying
Crossing over.
that. I don't want people to know.
You don't want them to know. Okay, so I'm trying not to give away too much too early. So we're gonna go look at something Beyond Drew TV built for us. So over here on the peninsula, across from the main boathouse. So we had the main boathouses, and what used to be our only entrance to the only station for the steamboat was down here, and now across from that, up on the hill, is this really cool chicken restaurant called Michaela's. And Beyond Drew TV, his wife in real life, her name is Michaela, so he named the restaurant after her, which is a very sweet thing to do. So we've got that up on the hill. It has a tiki chicken inside. And I made this little picnic area next to it. It's hard to get the peeps up here, though. It's kind of far away from all the other stuff. So we've put some vista points up there, trying to get them to come over. But they don't like it so much. We're trying. We'll see what happens. I think we're gonna have to put a ride over here.
It doesn't help
There's
with
a
the
serious
raccoon.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a serious raccoon dumpster diving problem here.
Yeah, we got some raccoons enjoying stuff.
And a jackalope.
Oh, there's right. There's he's
there's a jackalope
leaving
there
us
too.
He's left us some poop. He is pooping in the grass. Yep.
Easter egg.
In the grass. Easter eggs. Those are not chocolate Easter eggs. Boys and girls do not eat the Easter eggs at Rose Lake Park.
Yeah, but yeah, that was actually added, I believe, on Easter weekend.
Yeah, we did. We put those. We added the jackalopes and the chocolate Easter eggs. So it's a nice little place. I would sit there, especially after a long day at the park. I would like to go sit there and watch the boats go by. I think it's nice.
Some Easter eggs.
Yeah. So that's Michaela's. Thank you very much, Beyond Drew TV, for making that for us. Amazing. Really nice. All right, so that's that. So I'm going to swing back around to this side here. I'm going to change the time back to morning because that's when the hotel looks the best. And we're going to go... so JP built us the incredible Grand Cocotier Hotel for map 1, and it lived through the fire, of course. So now it's here, map 3. But the park's grown, so the hotel has grown. So if we come out here, we have added what was originally just one part to the annex to the expansion, and he ended up adding this other extra wing on the side too. So we have a whole bunch of extra hotel rooms to stay at the hotel. So that's this side over here. And then if you go back behind, he built this really cool, go to 3 o'clock. It's really cool Art Deco swimming pool. We used some of the Ghostbusters scenery to give it this kind of early Art Deco. So around 1919 was when we probably built the swimming pool. Really peaceful. Splashed by the pool. This guy's looking at his feet, I think. What he's looking at.
He's waiting for the water to turn red.
Oh, maybe. So pretty cool.
That chemical. Yes, that swimming pool is beautiful.
It's amazing. It's one of the prettiest places in the park. Beautiful. And you can hear the
I
rooster
tried really hard.
from the pool.
What's really hard to. I said I tried really hard to keep the water tower up the hill invisible from there.
Oh, you did a pretty good job. We'll take a closer look at the water tower in a little bit. Okay, so we got the hotel. Pretty cool. There's a exercise room on this side. So, entrance to the exercise room. Pretty nice. So that's the new changes to the hotel. We lost the nude sunbathers and the little outdoor sunbathing area. That was one thing that has gone away since map 2. So now we have the stairway leading down to the beach.
Encroaches.
Yes, civilization. So
Encroaches.
Yeah. So we're gonna go back across because something magical has happened over here. And we have Lake Leemay has become the Boardwalk area of Rose Lake Park. And so it's this beautiful boardwalk with popcorn lights, white lattices and flowers everywhere. Beautiful. So we're going to start down at this end. So coming off the bridges onto the peninsula, you would see the little gazebo with roses. Come on down here. And we have, I'm trying to make sure I don't forget anything. We have this amazing restaurant. Last video I talked about how Wolf Tenor is kind of the king of interiors. So this is kind of our first big taste of that here. So I'm going to embarrass him.
Yes, you are.
I'm going to embarrass
Well,
him.
actually, I think he did the interiors of the theaters before this, but
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
he is going on where he left off.
Yes. So we have Von Steubens is the name of the restaurant. How did the name of the restaurant come to be?
Steubens.
Van Steuben. How did Van Steuben come to be?
He was a Revolutionary War general. He was Prussian, but came to America and basically helped George Washington win the Revolutionary War from the British. And ended up establishing himself here in the country. But when I built this, I wanted to kind of go with the colonial theme, and so I was looking at different people, and I thought, hey, here's this guy, and he did all this stuff for us. Why shouldn't he have a restaurant that actually served German food? So there's bratwurst in there and stuff.
Yes. Very famous guy. One of the fortunately unsung heroes of the Revolution. But yeah, really great guy. His actual house still exists up there. I think it's in New Jersey, isn't it?
I think so. I don't remember. But so yeah, I gave it indoor and outdoor seating. This main dining room actually has skylights and plants.
And it's
fans.
Gorgeous. It is so beautiful.
A little stage in case they want to have live music and stuff. And then it goes out to the back where it basically hangs over the water. So then you have dining with the view of the lake.
So amazing.
And everything else.
Yes, that is incredible.
Beautiful place there, Wolf.
But it also has an indoor restaurant that actually, I called the Founders Room. And so basically that's all the portraits that you see in the middle part of the restaurant here. And it's basically the Rose Lake Improvement Company's conference room.
There
And
you go.
any excuse we have to eat, drink, and talk about stuff we're going to do.
Be merry too.
Exactly. And it is, if you bring Peeps into the park, it is the most popular thing in the park.
They literally will like.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is, but if you wait a while, they will actually go then to the food stalls, and actually will sit in the greenhouse and eat.
Yeah.
So, and they will sit on the benches and stuff, but it just takes them a while. First, they all just try to get in the restaurant, and then they can't because it's full.
The detail in here is crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, how did you make the fruit on the platter?
Yeah, those are those light bulbs.
Light
That's when you turn the lights on and off, they glow for a minute. But that was a TNTK light bulb because I wanted
perfect.
food on a plate, and I was like, okay, what can I use?
I remember we talked about that in the chat for a while, trying to figure it out.
What was small enough to use?
They look luscious, and I think their glowing just means that we fertilized them with radium. That was a thing back then, right?
Yeah, or pretty soon after that. Okay, so we have the restaurant. Beautiful.
Oh, and be sure to, there's a portrait of General von Steuben. It's the first one you see when you walk through the door.
Oh, is that him?
Yes, that's Fartikowski. That's him, and the one over the fireplace is also him. And I think actually in the corner too is something from Valley Forge too, but that's Washington on that side. So
okay.
Pictures of Washington and Boston there on the other side too. So.
Very cool.
Yeah, drilling the troops, as it were.
Yeah.
And then to keep along with the colonial theme, we have a replica of
the Liberty Bell.
The Liberty Bell.
Well,
if Disney can have one, then we can have one too.
Right? Well, we're telling everybody it's a replica, but probably we could have stolen it. But I'm not.
Probably.
Yeah. This is actually the real one. Yes.
You never know.
You never know. Just saying, you never know.
Okay. So
ours isn't cracked. You see, the one in Philly is actually a cheap reproduction, and it cracked.
Yeah, ours is
the real one.
Exactly. Okay. So to bring Peeps from the other side of the park to the boardwalk, we JP built Steubens Landing. Did I say that right? No, I didn't say it right. Steubens Landing, which is our steamboat station to bring Peeps from the other steamboat station over to here. So, or if they just want to come eat at the restaurant, they can. So let's come over this way. So I'm gonna pause it because the roller coaster is kind of loud. So Waggy made us this cool entrance arch, and there's another one on the other side by the hotel. So Rose Lake Boardwalk. So it gives some really cool sight line coming in here. You get some really nice views of the boardwalk looking out across the water. And it looks at some cool stuff. So first couple things we see right away, straight ahead coming through the arch, you see we have the Flip the Wig looping wooden coaster, which is our take on the neck-breaking flip-flop railway and the loop-the-loop. So our version's probably not going to last very long.
It's a bad idea.
Bad idea. I fought for it, though. Put it in the park. It's here. It's not gonna last
We
long
found
though.
a home for it,
Yeah, enjoy it while you can. It's not gonna be here very much longer.
if you can.
Yeah, one thing that we forgot, Wolf Tenor reminded me, back behind Flip the Wig, next to Von Steubens, is a
Oh, I've been.
Steubens is a water tower, a lighthouse that is hiding something inside. What's it hiding inside?
Well, it's as you said, it's a water tower. It's part of the water infrastructure, and this one here, because it had to go next to something high class like Von Steubens, it couldn't just look like a tin water tower. It actually had to look like some sort of colonial building. So it's a water tower cleverly disguised as a lighthouse. But if you
Awesome.
go inside. If you go inside, you see that it's just a water pump and a boiler to run the water pump, and some poor guy having to slave away in here in poor ventilation.
Very cool. I'm gonna turn the lights back
Not
on.
really. It's hot as hell in there.
Ah,
Why it has a fan and all that, but it's probably the worst job in the park is.
I think shoveling the manure behind the hotel might be a worse job. But
Yeah, I would go with that.
At least you're out in the fresh air.
Well, yeah, except for the flies. So, there's a beer bottle over there. Must be where he takes his breaks too. Excellent. Okay, so that's a little behind the scenes backstage going on there. Okay, so down this way we have, so all the games were destroyed in the Midway fire. So we have brought some of those back to the boardwalk. So we have some game stalls, nice little shooting gallery game, shooting the ducks, throwing the ball at the clowns, and then further down here we have popping the balloons with the darts and hitting the target with the arrows. So back over here we have about this time Harry Traver made his first circle swing ride. So I built this a fake one called the Flying Gondolas, pattern after lots of reference photos that we found. So in this version we have sort of a Italian style gondola hanging from the chains, give it sort of a romantic appearance. So there you go. Flying gondolas.
Another excellent bike ride.
This
an
one.
art to do it.
What's that?
I said there's a real art to doing fake rides. It's not a trivial task, and that one came out quite well.
I'm gonna show you guys a secret. So if you take the swings and if you sink them under the lake, you can trade them for the version that is swinging. So if you want to take a screen, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Oh. So if you want to take a screenshot with the ride in motion, you can swap out the gondolas like that and get an action screenshot like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be riding that.
So, and the little finial on top is the common piece. So you would try to line that up.
Okay.
Basically with all of them. Kind of how that works. Try to get it lined up. So that's that. I did that with my skyrockets in Kaleidoscope Piers too. It also has the second version hidden under the boardwalk. Okay, so that's the flying gondolas. So let's take a break from the rides for now. So I'm going to show off something really spectacular here that Wolf Tenor made for us. So our park, we used to have a small amphitheater over in the midway area, right across from the jackalope, the original jackalope next to the grasshopper, and it was destroyed in the fire. It had wooden benches, and they just went up with the grass and all gone. So we wanted to build a new, grander theater, and Wolf Tenor built us the Swan Pavilion, which kind of carries over the colonial style from down the way from the restaurant. So, would you like to talk about this exterior facade that you have for us here, Wolf Tenor?
Yes.
Okay. And then we'll go inside.
Um,
There's a lot of stories inside.
There's lots of stories inside. Basically, the park needed another kind of performing venue that was outdoors, because there's a lot of stuff you just couldn't do in the small theaters. So basically, you can see it all back there. It seats how many hundreds of folks. But every seat's got a decent view, and you have a whole stage in the back there with an orchestra pit, a little one, but so they could do Philharmonic concerts. And right now we got the Barbershop Quartet backed up by the I think it's Edna's Peepsburg Men's Chorus. But they've got dueling pianos, and so yeah. So I think, like I say, we needed a place for lots of outdoor concerts and things that just couldn't be held inside the theater. But
Is that
it's got
Ludwig? Is that Leopold there conducting?
I think so.
possibly, I'm not sure.
He needs to have better posture.
Yeah, he's got horrible posture. But if you had to sit in a pit all day long and in the heat, you'd probably be.
That's true.
But
And note the drains down there in the pit to keep him from having to wade to work.
There you go.
there you go.
Oh, I didn't notice you put one in there. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's three.
And there's three, and then there's all over the walkway part too, because all that water would come pouring off
Excellent.
the steps and stuff and the seats, and so then they have some place to go. And I really didn't want it filling that up, because then it would flood the dressing rooms that are downstairs.
I gotcha.
It's more the green room downstairs, but there are
Okay.
dressing rooms on the lower level. We have a green room gallery reception area, so that if people wanted to meet, special VIPs wanted to meet the cast afterwards, they could meet in the gallery, and the smaller dressing rooms are right off of that. But,
Shall we go inside?
Yeah, so go into the gallery.
Okay, so let's go on the bottom floor here. Here's
And,
the main.
Just sort of a reception hall with pictures of some of the acts that have played in the park and that have played at the pavilion. And the stairs go down to the lower green room and connect up to the. There's nothing down there, but
There used to be.
Used to be. There's dressing rooms across, where the smaller dressing rooms are like basically through that door.
This door?
I think it's that door, or is it not? Maybe that's outside. Oh, it's in that door. There you go.
I thought it was connected.
And then there's these access to the course. These are like principal dressing rooms. And then you take the elevator downstairs to where the.
So these were nicer.
Sort of like a little bit nicer principal dressing rooms. Right? Maybe like if you had an opera singer coming or a conductor or something like that, they would have their dressing rooms up there, where any ensemble or orchestra would then take the elevator downstairs.
I didn't know you put the elevator in here.
Yeah, I did put the. I did.
Has this always been here?
Yeah, it was always been there.
Oh, I didn't even know that was there. That's awesome.
The elevator. And
that's really cool.
And then because in the door that accesses to the
this
stage.
Goes to the stage, right?
Stage.
There we go. Out to the stage. Cool.
But,
okay. So then,
because our
What's out this
So
door?
that's back out to the front. But you got to go back out that way to get to the other door on the other side anyway.
Okay. Oh, that's right. I got you. So we now are in here. So we have 2 doors on this end.
Yes, and so one's the box office, and then this one is one of the doors into the private entrance of Major General Stanley Wolf's
The one on the right?
dressing room and apartment. So,
Yeah, because
yes,
the restroom is above the box office, right?
yes.
Trying to
Yes.
remember. Okay. So when I said Wolf Tenor likes interiors, I was not kidding. This is really cool, guys. You did a really good job in here. This is like when you were building this and you had the walls off the front and it was like a dollhouse, we were just floored by how much detail you put inside this
Yeah,
thing.
and it's
It's
still like that.
crazy.
If you want to look inside without having to do this, you can actually pull the back off. The back where the bandstand and the show,
Oh,
that comes,
okay.
it's a separate piece, so it comes off. So you
Okay.
can actually then, see inside.
Do you want me to do that? I don't want to miss the stuff on the. Let's
Well,
look
yeah,
in.
no,
We'll look
go
inside
in there
first,
first, and
and
then
then
we
we'll
can
do
do
that.
that. But
Okay.
yeah, this is Major General Stanley, who basically
This
made
is
his
crazy.
fortune singing Gilbert and Sullivan operettas. And so basically, this apartment dressing room is an homage to his favorite composers.
There's the
And
pirate flag.
in the apartment, basically, is every show of the Gilbert and Sullivan canon has some kind of picture or representation
Uh-oh.
on the show. Oh, somebody's missing.
Write that down. I don't remember which one that is.
I think I know which one it is. I replaced it too. So
And there's that one too.
oh, that's weird.
We'll
I don't
fix
know.
it.
Oh, you're talking
We'll
about
fix it.
picture frame?
Yeah, there's 2.
They're all
What's-
good to me.
Okay. There's a couple missing for me. I'll have to figure out what's going on.
That's good. Yeah.
We'll fix it. Don't worry.
I know. I thought
Oh.
it.
Oh, I see. In the bathroom,
Yeah, we're in the
there's a
bathroom.
couple missing.
Okay. We'll fix it. We'll
But
get
so
that ready for the release.
basically, when Major General Wolf is in the park, this is where he stays because it's way too far to go home and to his mansion.
That sounds
So
like something Walt
Even
Disney
with
would do.
this,
well, kind of. But yeah, that door there goes to there's an outdoor patio. So he
Oh yeah,
can
I forgot about that. So he
go
can
out
look out. Look at that view he gets.
and has a view of the hotel and the park
That is crazy.
from his balcony. So, yeah, he's got money to burn.
Sure does.
But he's got a piano in there. He's got all his books and all his posters and memorabilia from all the shows.
There's another picture.
I know, another one's missing too.
Hmm.
Very strange. But,
I wonder if that's related to our Steam problems we've been having. We'll blame Steam. It's all Steam's fault.
I know they were in there. And then because he might stay overnight, then he has, of course, a bedroom that is themed to sort of Japanese theme to the Mikado.
What's his cat's name?
Patience. Her name is Patience, and she doesn't like
Patience.
everybody.
Aw. Poor thing.
But,
Okay. Very nice. So you were saying...
So if you go outside, and then you should be able to select just the back of
this part?
Yep. And just like lift it up. And it should go up so you can see.
That's crazy.
Inside.
That's amazing.
Man. Surprised there's no skeletons in the attic, though.
Yeah, you didn't put any skeletons up
No,
there?
I didn't put any skeletons in the attic.
They're in the closet.
Pretty much.
In the wardrobe. Is there one in there?
No, not one in the wardrobe.
No skeletons in the wardrobe?
No skeletons in the wardrobe.
That is crazy cool. I love it. Beautiful.
Fantastic.
So that's the Swan Pavilion in all of its glory. Minus a few pictures that we'll have to reattach. I don't know what happened to them.
I don't know. That is weird because they were in there last time I looked, but
Yes, they were.
I'm sure it's Fisherman's fault.
Yes, gotta be your thing.
We're gonna go down to the Shoot the Chutes ride. So every park in this time period had a Shoot the Chutes ride. So they were basically the precursor to the kind of the ancestor of the log flume, or the yeah
water coaster.
Yeah, the original ones would have sort of a gondolier guy that would ride in the boat with you. Some of them carried you up a lift hill in the boat, and some of them you would have to climb the stairs and you would get in the boat at the top. And the gondolier, you would kind of splash freely and skip across the water at the bottom, and the gondolier would kind of steer you back to the little station area where you get out of the boat. But ours is a little bit more automated because we spared no expense. So
And we're lazy.
But so I made the track for this, and then JP made the tower and the supports and decorated it into the station.
And I made the water pump to get the water up to the top of the tower.
That's right. We're going to look at that in a second because we're going to take a look behind the tower. Let's watch one of these go down.
The really cool thing about this ride is the itty bitty little bunny hops at the bottom of the drop that very accurately portray a boat skipping across the water.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Very cool. Lots of fun. Although the peeps don't ride it. I think it's not thrilling enough for them.
they do. Well, you have to kind of give them a minute, but they will ride it after a while.
Yeah.
But they won't like line it. They won't like make a long line. But they'll get on it every once in a while. You get a few people riding it.
Yeah. Very cool. Beautiful ride. Okay, so we have 7 swans, our swan boats. Take a romantic little ride around the lake. There's
just that corner of it to keep from being run over by the steamboats.
That's right. And Bullethead was kind enough to point out that we needed something to separate the swimmers and the swan boats from the steamboats. So he put these little floating buoys in the water for us to keep everybody safe. Much appreciated, Bullethead. So, swan boats, very romantic, very romantical. And then we have JP's Tickler ride that he brought over from his other park that he built. He modified it for Peony Park. He modified it for Rose Lake Park for us. So very cool. Let me change the lighting so we can see it a little bit better. Well, that didn't help. It was a little better. Lots of fun.
And
very nicely done.
Not a trivial thing. Yeah, I mean, this is a very, very hard sort of track to make.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah. Yeah, the way he sloped it, the whole thing is sloped. So every piece of track tries to snap back to 0 when you're doing the turns, especially. So you have to kind of keep coaxing the Trek editor to do what you want it to do. Very cool. So that is the tickler. And then before we ride them, let's look back behind here. Let's go back to afternoon light. So we have Bullethead was talking about the water pumps, pump house for the Chutes ride. So they need to get water up to the top because there's water flowing down the boat chute. So they would have to get water up to the top. So he devised there's a pump house here. Another guy working in the heat, putting coal in there. Was this guy there all day long? Was that his job?
As long as the ride. Yeah, that was his job. Keep
Man.
that pump running.
Poor guy.
Yeah. Well, hopefully in the 20s we'll get electric pumps and we can lay him off.
There you go. And he'll walk sad all up to the front of the park. So, underground pipes and up the leg there to provide water up to the top of the tower. Excellent. Okay, and one more thing back here. So we wanted to have sort of a romantic little. There was this place that was kind of unused behind the Shoot the Chutes ride. This was where the old beaver dam was, and so this part of the lake is kind of raised up a little higher than the main part of Lake Leemay. So we thought, well, it's still beautiful back there. Let's figure out how we can bring peeps back here to enjoy the beauty. So we made the treasure trails. Giggle, smart. So we have two paths you can pick from: the grotto or the gazebo. And the gazebo out here on the lake gives you a nice view of the waterfall over there. Or you can turn around and look at the back side of water, the back side of the Chutes ride. Or if you chose the other path, so at the water pump house, you could take the grotto path instead. Walk down here. Go inside.
It's all non-OSHA approved.
Non-OSHA.
Hazard.
Tripping hazard.
No handrails.
But you could go in the cave and make out with your sweetie and look at the backside of water. Come around, peek out the side. Watch the fireflies. There you go. Go for a dip in the water. So that is it for the main part of the boardwalk. While I have the lights off, you get a nice view of something up on the hillside here, which is if you had continued on the main road that led into the park, you would come up to the sign that says the Bruin Auditorium, named after Washington Bruin, one of the founders of the park and the original landowners. So they built a big auditorium, named it after his family, and currently it's showing Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. So let's head on up the road here, see what we can see. So Waggy built this. JP did a little bit of some modifications to it, and I added just a couple little things to the back. I think we all worked on it.
Pretty much.
Bullethead did the water tower. Wolf Tenor made the tunnel over here that we'll look at in a second. Let's look inside the auditorium. So beautiful Art Deco front here. So it's 1919, the dawn of Art Deco, the Art Deco movement. Let's look inside. We have this beautiful lobby area, and then the showroom itself, the arena itself. just amazing. Let's look up here from the top, looking down. So really cool. We need to put some music in here. It's kind of quiet inside. We should put some music in here. Make a note of that.
This is just a few of the people in Buffalo Bill's shows, doing a sort of a rehearsal, practice.
Exactly. But in his show, they would have real bison in the shows.
And real bullets.
And probably real bullets. Yep. I'd hate to be on the other side of the arena when somebody was getting shot at.
But, no, Annie Oakley would ride along, and she had somebody riding in front of her throwing glass balls up in the air, and she was shooting them from the saddle with a rifle. So we're going to have to fix the roof.
I bet it's going to start raining in eventually. Okay, so that's the front of the auditorium and the inside, and then on the back side we have our stables for the horses, and where they stored the wagons for the other parts of the show. And then, here's another one of the trucks. Forgot.
Yeah. You haven't shown the tour trucks or garbage trucks.
That's right. We'll have to go back and look at those. So here's one of the other modified trucks. For carrying cargo here.
The show's just coming into town in waves. It's not all traveling together, so This is just the first arrival.
Before we go too far, there's some anachronistic cars still on that road. Make a note of that. Those need to go away till the next map. But we have the Rosebud Tunnel. I just got the joke. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, so they have the tunnel here. This road would go off map towards that other city that we can't pronounce, probably.
Yeah.
Parsley.
Yeah. Parsley.
Parsleyuna. Oh, I forgot about this. So, when Bullethead made the water tower, that was around the time Waggy was putting the auditorium in, and he talked about how we would need access to the underground water infrastructure for the auditorium. So we put this little door on the side of the cliff here that would give the workers access to provide support
You say the water tower came first, and then this ginormous building got built there that's taller than the water tower. And of course, the fire marshal demanded that the big new building be sprinklered, and the sprinklers up at the top of the roof are above the water tower. So the auditorium needed its own pump house to get water up to the sprinklers up at the very top of the roof, and that's what that door's for.
Exactly. Okay. So, all of our streets have names now too. Wolf Tenor went through and put signs everywhere. I forgot about that. So we have this one, Cocotier Avenue, which I bet goes to the hotel.
Yepers.
What does this sign say? Oh, it does. So I bet if we follow this, we're going to see some more of Bullethead's trucks he was talking about. So this road, so we pass one of the old Surreys, because they still had those too. And then, if I can get my camera to cooperate. So this is one of the tour trucks that would carry people back and forth between hotel, auditorium, around the park, wherever they needed to go.
Just seeing the sides. Yeah. Even got a tour guide in there to narrate along the trip besides just having a driver.
Yeah. Did she have a loudspeaker, or would she just have to yell back there?
She would yell. That's why she's kind of angled, so she can yell through the little window in the back.
Okay. They'd have to hear her over the backfiring of the engine, too. And then over by the hotel, we have some delivery trucks. We have Luigi's Dairy, and then Rose Lake Waste. So the park no longer shipped trash across the lake and dumped it somewhere. Now they were more civilized, and they had waste trucks that would come pick up the trash and take it away. So very good.
Bringing in fresh milk to the hotel in the dairy truck, which is insulated and refrigerated with big chunks of dry ice and everything.
Yep. There we go. So, have I covered everything? We need to go ride. We need to ride the coasters. We were going to do that.
Oh yes, yeah. At least ride the.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's ride the flip the wig.
Okay. Hang on to your neck.
Yeah, hold on to your neck. We're gonna ride flip the wig. Hold on to your wig. I have a funny.
I don't think you were old enough to be bald.
To be wearing a wig?
Yeah.
No.
Your Pinfari saw this and went, more.
I'm gonna sue. I got a broken neck. No, it's a funny family story. My mom is a exaggerator, like extreme. So whenever she tells a story, every time she tells a story, it changes a little bit and gets a little more extreme every time she tells it. But she always talks about, because Six Flags Over Texas was our family's home park before they built Astroworld, and she always talks about taking my brothers there when they were little, and the mine train was new. The mine train roller coaster was new at the time. She talks about how thrilling it was and how she had to hold on to her glasses with one hand, my brother with her other hand, and her wig with her other hand. I'm like, how many hands do you have, Mom? But
yeah, oh, that was like the first hybrid coaster ever, wasn't it?
yeah, because it had like the wooden supports and the steel rails. Sure did.
Yeah. I rode it a few years ago. It's pretty rough.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Time has not been kind.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna ride the Chutes now.
You're looking for the little bunny hops at the bottom of the hill. I like our flag up there on top of the tower.
Yeah.
And quite the same as the other flags. It seem better this way.
Oh, we just lost Grandma out of the back.
What's that?
We just lost Grandma out of the
We
back.
just lost Grandma.
She wasn't hurting.
Her false teeth are on the bottom of the lake somewhere.
Yeah.
If we're lucky, that they flew out and killed somebody on a path.
So that is Shoot the Chutes. So let's go ride the tickler. See if we get tickled.
This is most amazing coaster builds. God. Tickles more than getting a coronavirus nasal swab.
I think there's going to be a wet cleanup in car 3.
Wet cleanup in car 3. Aw. That's it.
That's what I get for
Okay.
eating hot dogs before I get on a ride.
There you go. So before we leave, before we say goodbye, we got to look at everything at night because this is beautiful at night.
You can't see my ugly stuff.
Your ugly what?
Yeah, at night, you can't see the ugly stuff I made.
It's not true. You can still see your ugly stuff. No, the park
there's lights all,
comes to life at
all
night.
over it.
Got fireflies everywhere.
Fire hydrants.
Fire hydrants everywhere. Lights everywhere. And if you've ever put lights on a roller coaster, you know how much fun this is. Lots of fun. Very cool. There we go. So that is, once again, Rose Lake Park. Circa 1919, about when this snapshot is taken here. Have we forgotten anything? Did we get it all?
I think we did. I checked off everything on my list.
All right. Anything else you want to look at, Bullethead?
No, less said about my stuff, the better.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up and sign off. So, once again, guys, check out our blog and follow us on Shy Guys World. Keep up with the project. We are getting started. We've already made a couple of things for Map 4. Outlined some stuff that we're going to be doing for Map 4. So it's going to take us a while. Be patient, but we'll have some cool stuff to show you pretty soon. So thank you guys for watching, and we're going to go ahead and sign off. I'm Fisherman.
I'm Wolf Tenor.
I'm Bullethead.
And we will check you guys next time.